That's her signal to quit. Two of our talkative kids are absent today, and this morning has been really easygoing. Usually they'll come in the mornings and it takes a long time for them to get settled, but the whole class was quiet. We even heard the next door being really loud, and that usually never happens. We still have to deal with some behaviors because there's always one person or two that just do not want to work for whatever reason. I just submitted my plan for observation 1 to my clinical supervisor, and it looks like she gave me the green light. I just gotta finalize a few of my materials so that the lesson plan can go exactly how I want it, which isn't gonna happen. But I at least want the time frame to be from recess to lunch so that I don't go over the time, and I'm hoping that I don't skip out on any of the parts that I planned. This is the anchor chart for my simile lesson, and I have to cover this or all of this so that we can go step by step. I'm realizing that I have a problem because I think I like chaos. Since our two talkative kids aren't here today, something felt really off. For 80% of the day, we're usually just working on their behaviors, and it feels really good when you're able to get them to work. We also had a fire drill today, and we didn't let our kids know about it so that we can see how they react in an emergency situation. And they were so much better and so much quicker at getting out of the door and into the line than our experience with the earthquake drill a couple weeks ago. The day went by so fast, which is generally a good thing for teachers, but at the same time it felt so empty. So I'm excited for what tomorrow will bring. It is Halloween, it's going to be chaotic, but I think I might love it even if I come home with a headache. I'm a fisherman. My teacher got me a treat and it is so good. Everyone was crazy today because it was Halloween. It was super hard to get their attention even though we were going out for PE. I even had to talk to one of the students for like 15 minutes about his behavior in class and see how he can change, but it was his first time admitting that he was at fault, so I'm really hoping that he actually changes something tomorrow. We did a bit of art today too, and here it is. A student asked me to trade with her, so I put this ring that she gave me my second day. And I said, "Give me my ring," with the little cat. I am back at home. I wanted to show you guys my main costume, but I didn't have time once the kids started rushing in, so here it is. It's pretty crazy and giant. It was 9 feet tall and it took up the entire hallway space. There was a Halloween parade in the morning and everyone had so much fun. Then we got to see some carved pumpkins. The only thing that sucks about Halloween during a school day for teachers is that we're still expected to make students work, and that just goes flying out the door with them. It was so cute because when I was walking back to class after school, there was this random kid that I've never seen before who complimented my costume, and I was really surprised that he even remembered my face because it's literally my face that's just sticking out and nothing else. And I was already in my fisherman outfit. Then right before I was about to leave campus, the next door teacher came over and told me about how some of the parents were talking about me. They were really impressed that I committed to a giant squid outfit. She said that it was even more impressive that I was just a student teacher because I didn't have to do all that, but I was still willing to participate. I am feeling extremely tired today, and I think it's because of how crazy yesterday was for Halloween. Tomorrow is also going to be my first formal observation. I have everything set up, but I'm not mentally ready for it yet. At least something that I get to look forward to on Wednesdays is that some of us get to go out to eat for lunch, and after school there's a little baby shower for one of the staff. Another thing, I'm sick and tired of feeling overwhelmed by all the requirements like the EdTPA. The last submission date for 2023 is going to be December 14th, and I originally planned to submit the next due date, which is February 22nd. It's going to be a really big challenge, but I have 1 more month to do all the lesson plans for the EdTPA, give the instruction, and analyze the assessments afterwards. I probably need this pressure of deadlines. I just want to enjoy my experience without feeling stressed out. It was a very simple day. The trimester ends on Thursday, so everyone was just taking tests. The other 4th grade teacher went to go set up the baby shower in the NPR. So for PE, we had our class and her class. There was one kid from the other class who kept picking on a girl in my class. And when the whistle blew, one of my kids wouldn't stop throwing the ball even though I told him to. There was just too much going on.
Making a guess on how much you think that is.
It is the big ol' observation day. I just need to set up my camera. This morning, I'm going to tell the kids what the plan is and what the expectations are and what the rewards are. During my cohort yesterday, I asked everyone, or not everyone, but I asked people in my breakout room if they were feeling like the requirements for WGU and the EdTPA were overshadowing their student teaching experience, and everyone said no. So it seems like it's just a me problem. They're saying that the lesson plan doesn't need to be as detailed as how it was during our courses. I'm going to double check that with my supervisor and see if I really need to spend that much time on them. This is all the stuff I had for my lesson, and I made it interactive where they could stick it on the Velcro. This was my doodle, but look at how cute all the other ones are. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I want to keep all of them, but I think they want it back. I actually ended up crying after my lesson, even though for the most part the lesson went well and I had engagement from some of the same people. Everyone was mostly on task. There were about 2 to 3 students that just didn't want to work. It was so frustrating because one of the students is the student who keeps making noise with like tapping or just making sounds. And for the past 3 weeks that I've been here, I've been working really hard to build rapport with him, to work with his behaviors. Seems like he's just giving up on himself, and I had a conversation with him a couple days ago about that. I'm trying so hard to make this work for us. During the lesson, he blatantly ignored me. He would lean back on his chair, he would distract other people. Even my host teacher was fuming because it's just complete disrespect at that point. Out of all 26 students, he is the one kid that I've worked the most with and trying new things with him. I don't know, this week it just feels like he's doesn't care about anything. Another one of the students who isn't a fan of language arts, there were times when he would get out of his seat and just rock around, but he was very quick to adjust back to his spot once I pointed it out. There was that mutual respect with him, but just not enough engagement as I'd hoped, especially because we had a doodling activity and I know that he loves art. The other kid, I don't even know what's going on in his head. He was having his foot up, like, I don't even know if I can do it, up like this while sitting down, and he was putting it over his head. That kid's a tough nut to crack, but I was super disappointed with that first kid because it's the kid that I'm tracking his behaviors on the planner too. Like, I have this little behavior chart. It's just like in little points for him to keep track of how he's doing. That's the only kid I'm basically working with behaviors. I started crying to my host teacher and she was making me feel better by pointing out how everyone was super engaged. I didn't really notice it that much because my attention was so focused on those 3 kids, but now that I look back, they were engaged. They had amazing discussions. I even got their feedback at the end and they said they enjoyed the doodling, they enjoyed the simile story that I had. Another one said that I should have done more brain breaks, which I think is true. I just ran out of time. I just feel like a little defeated with that first guy. Even my kid with the IEP and the one with the 504 plan was constantly causing a problem or having drama between them. They were on task and they were following along and they were participating too. Another positive note is that the sweet little ones that are usually quiet and never participate were the ones that were raising their hands the whole time. I was asking my host teacher, what do teachers do when kids give up on themselves? Because you can't give up on the kid. And she said that if it comes to that point, like for her, that's her signal to quit. I thanked the ones that were focusing and on task and participating, and I almost cried again when I said all that. Now I gotta figure something out with my video because it ended up being too long and too big of a file size, so it's not even going up on Go React. You, my queen, are fair, and it's true, but Snow White is 1,000 times... Someone just yawned. This is a really good morning for them. They came in quietly, they got to work. For math, everyone was paying attention, even the kid who is usually like in his own head was copying everything down. We finally got an on-task sticky again, and it's revealing more of the award. Not too sure if they're being responsive because they're just tired in the morning, but I mean, fine by me as long as they're getting their stuff done. The kids are out at recess right now, and that's usually when they get a little rowdy. I'm also getting better progress on my EdTPA lesson. More good news is that my clinical supervisor said that my first lesson was very good. I'm just hoping that I didn't set too high of expectations because that one took forever. This book that my teacher got me is so cute. This is actually my first children's book that I own now, and I love the ones that have beautiful illustrations. Like, look at this. Any page I turn to is just beautifully illustrated. I'm not a big reader myself, so I don't know which books are good and which ones I wouldn't like. I love that some of the teachers are exposing me to the good ones without me having to search through a library myself. I stayed up last night to write this letter for a student who's moving to Guam tomorrow, but she's absent. Luckily, her personal belongings are still here, so I think the mom's going to come after school to pick it all up. I hope I get to see her one last time because she was one of the students that made it easy for me to feel welcomed. One of my kids saw this book and was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, the teacher gave it to me." And he opens it and then he sees this and I was like, "Oh!" Both of us were trying to hold in our laugh because my reaction made it seem like he found out something he wasn't supposed to know. I just joked around and told him to keep it a secret between us, and he was joking around pretending that he was telling other kids my name. But super funny because I've always wondered what other people thought my name was, and now he just knows.